am gonna build this, and I'll take you on a little bit of a tour of some of the other ones that are here. They're sort of a weird hybrid for me. I love cars, I love Lego. Lego haven't made cats yet, so you know the Holy Trinity might be completed one day, but I think this is quite good. It's a Fiat 500. Technically, I'm Italian, technically. So yeah, this one does mean something, which is quite cute. Also, I'm an artist, so they've kind of got me in all of this. Italian artist. I guess I'm like a Fiat 500 in that I'm sort of small. I mean, I'm not 6 foot, but also everyone loves them, but they're a bit rubbish at times, right? So yeah, I cannot wait. Now, what we'll do, we'll have a look at some of the other ones. So these are the previous ones. I guess we'll start with this one, only because it was the first one that came out, and it was brilliant. I'd always liked Lego. In fact, I think this was about the time I got back into it. I got a very good deal on a lot of these, so that's partly why I have them all. Not because I love to burn money on Lego, but it's brilliant. It's so well detailed. There is not a single part of any of these which I think they're all so good. The favourite has to be the Mini, right? Only because I know them quite intimately anyway. What I can say about this is the way you build it, and it might be the same, in fact I think it's the same for all of these. The way you build it is how they were built in their own factories. So this has, for example, a front and a rear subframe. And the fuel filler cap, it's great. Something I guess I'll mention as I build the other one. So I try and build them left-handed. Cool, right? And I try to have the word Lego go in the same way. For any sideways Lego, I've gone left to right. And of course, if it's front to back, then it always reads top to bottom. So, fun fact, that's how you can add jeopardy to your Lego. My least favourite is probably the Beetle. I'm not a Beetle guy. It's a very good model. It is very good. It's a little bit high for me. Proportions aren't quite there. But I think if I was more of a Beetle person, I'd probably be into it. I usually don't put this stuff on it because I hate the cliche of Surfer and Volkswagen product. It's a good colour. Probably one of my favourite colours here. Last but not least, the biggest surprise for me was this, which is the Mustang. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I built obviously that, a Ferrari F40, which I did sell on because it was really out of scale. I mean, these are all out of scale, but the F40 was particularly out of scale. This was the most recent one I built, and it was just so much more interesting and complicated, I guess, than certainly these two and that F40. And I was building it with a friend who's a big Mustang guy, and it was just fascinating seeing all the things that he was recognising that were real compared to the real cars. The only questionable item is obviously a V8, but it's only got 4 HT leads, but we'll leave that aside. But everything about that is brilliant, including the little visually full up water tank there and the battery. I mean, there's so many good things there. Door hinge, wow. You won't be able to see it there, but I'll show you. It has a catch, so you can't over open the door. That's brilliant. I have driven a fair few of these, and I just thought I was recognising bits myself. That is a great little build. If you can only buy one, and you can't get hold of the Mini, for good value that is, I would probably recommend you get that Mustang. And I'm assuming it's going to be just as great. So, unboxing video, I guess. And I'm really careful when it comes to unboxing these because I like storing the boxes. But I store them flat, mainly for room. My garage isn't that big. No rips. There we go, we're in. So let's just... This is cut down the seam flatten it down so that when I store it, I can store it flat, so it's just much easier. And that's what all the cool people do. So also they would make quite nice artwork, but oh my god, I love it. So in recent years, actually, a fascinating thing about all these is because they're officially licensed and all that kind of stuff, you actually get a really nice bit of bump with them. Yeah. Joy of a licensed set is normally the reason why they increase in value in 5-6 years is because they've got printed parts, which means you don't have stickers. So those particular parts become rare and they only come in the kits, and so you have to buy the kit and you get the part. So some people buy this stuff just for the part. It looks like all the fun bits though are stickers here. The nice thing about the VW Beetle is it had a tiny little VW printed fuel filler cap, which is very, very cute. The number plates on the sticker sheets, I've not number plated anything. They're a lot cleaner without them, I think, which is fun. So, but in recent years, because these are licensed products, you get excellent little history books. So, I mean, that's great. Stage 1 gets you pretty much rear end and chassis. 2 gets you doors and a bit of interior. In fact, all the interior. And then 3, you get the front end, the roof. Let's go. So, because this table is quite shiny, I often get a tray to put all this in. Okay, so, big bag 1. Let's have a little go through of this, and yeah, if I find anything interesting, I'll let you know. I mentioned earlier that when I build these things, I always try and do it so that the Lego says Lego all the way around, right? So this annoyingly is the other way. Now, because this will be a symmetrical part, I'm okay with that because the other side will be fine. But also something you can't quite see is that these pins are all facing the right way. And that is so that when you offer up quite a long piece, you can just pop it straight in. There you go. Make sure your pins are straight, people. The next bit I think is quite repetitive actually, in that it's possibly the same side. Oh no, we've got axles. Why the Fiat 500? Well, it came out, is the honest answer. They have brought out one that I had absolutely no interest in, and it was the Caterham 7. I probably should like the Caterham 7. I do, but I also don't. I think there's an air of nerdiness about them, but I'd love to have a go in one, for sure. In fact, another go in one. I did have a go quite a few times in an R300, which was absolutely rapid. No windscreen. This hair, even back then when I drove it, down the M1 from Pitfield Street to Watford. Yeah, it was quite a sight. Honestly, I do like Fiat 500s, which is why I did buy it. I have driven one. I think it was a 71 I drove. Little red one, from the same place that little Caterham came from actually. Classic Car Club London. I think I was living in Camberwell at the time. I think so, it's Camberwell to Bromley. Interesting. Very crunchy gearbox initially. No synchro mesh, so you had to double clutch and everything. It's fascinating, loved it. Once you got it right after half an hour into a 45-minute drive, it was absolutely fantastic. And what I like, the one I also drove was a little cabrio, so big old sunroof basically, but it was nice with a little toupee, which is fun. Now colour-wise, I'm assuming this is a factory-based colour, but also Disney cars, Luigi, it's probably quite recognisable for kids, so it's a good choice of colour. It's a little bit pale, I like it. One thing, when I did drive that Fiat, well it is look, it's repeated now, so I can think a bit less, although I must make sure my Legos are the right way around. Legos sound American. You know what I mean? I'm going to check actually. How I tell the Lego, you might see in the time lapse, I always hold one in the hand, so I always know it's oriented. Gosh, admitting all this stuff on camera. Left hand building. How have I built that wrong? Happens to the best of us, look at that. Got a 6, not an 8. What's a twat? It felt wrong in the hand actually, so I don't know why I carried on. Always check your work. The only time I remember making a mistake, which meant I had to disassemble, was when I was about 8 or 9 or something like that. It was a Lego pirate ship, and I basically built it one stud too short, so when I tried to fit something in the middle of the boat, it didn't fit, and I couldn't figure it out, and it was literally a full disassemble jobby. Here we go. Hey, I got ahead this time. Yeah, my bad. I was just enjoying this too much to reset the camera position after the time lapse. So hopefully the audio was great. Bag 1 done. So yeah, we have the little engine in there, a little 500cc engine, all nice little bits like Dizzy and stuff are on show. We have, and this is why I really like these things, a little gear stick, a handbrake, and then we have the starter and the choke. Now, the starter isn't the key or a button, it's like a little lever that you pull up, and it's very, very cute, and it's just great how they've managed to get that. I don't know which one's which, whether it's left or right. You'll find that on all of the models actually. The Mustang's got its little shifter, the Mini's got like the spare wheel under the boot, which is all correct. So yeah, great stuff. Interior colour is this sort of little maroon, so that's really, really nice as well. Real fun. I wish I knew a little bit more about the engine to know whether it was you know, as accurate as it could be. I'm sure it is, but I don't, for example, know what a lot of this stuff would be, whereas when I built the Mini I was like, there's the air filter, etc. So on to bag 2. Well, end of bag 2, doors are on, back windscreen's on, dash is in with the little fuel tank, which is great. Seats, really, really nice. Now, weirdly, they obviously work beautifully. Very minor gripe, and it is a toy. There's no way you can ever start or adjust the choke of this car with those seats in the right position. But they're very specific in the book about where they go. Love the clean dash. I think that is very, very nice touch. And our first printed part. In fact, 2. One is the Speedo. It's quite a standard part, used at barbecues, all sorts. But there is a Fiat badged logo part, which is just for the centre steering wheel. So that's a really, really cool little touch. There's probably another, yes, because you always get 2 minimum of these tiny pieces, kind of like spares. So in fact, all of these are spares. Slightly worryingly, because there seems to be quite a few, but it'll be alright. You'll notice I didn't stick stickers on, mainly because I don't want to yet. I will have to do that dashboard one before the roof goes on, but I'll give you some tips about that in a moment. But let's crack open bag 3 and get going. Alright, bag 3, let's go for it. So, all the interesting stuff starts to happen. Might be a bit bad and do these. What's great about these wheels is they are horrid on one side and they're really nice and utilitarian on the other. They look like a truck wheel. Do I? Yes, I do. So outside tyre wall is basically the one with less lettering. Part number, I guess. So I've got, yeah, just Lego Group showing. Looks like we've got a windscreen. Ooh, that is a new part to me. Goodness, that is, well, very nice. Some people think a lot of the newer parts kind of cheat a bit, and arguably that being one, I assume, but I don't know if I see it that way. I think there's so few new parts, certainly with these creator kits, because I think they're meant to be aimed at, you know, traditional building, and some of the techniques they use are mind-blowingly clever. Windscreen. The one element of these windscreens, they do scratch. I mean, obviously I've just taken it out of the bag, right? And already it's got scratches, so I do tend to take those out, because as I'm rummaging around, they will certainly scratch up a bit. Ooh, hubcaps. The hub on the car, real car, holds the wheel, and so it's quite ugly. There are bolts, nuts. So these, in real life, a hubcap covers the ugliness. Isn't that cool? And they just go in there. I know there's no air or tyre valve, but there is a notch. And I am going to orientate the Lego to be with the notch. Right, time has come to put a sticker on, because I haven't mounted the dash sticker yet, and I'm going to put the windscreen on, which will make that particularly tricky. So my advice for stickers, because they will over time dry out a bit and crack, give them the best adhesion you can from day one. So this square, I'm going to clean that right up. Just want to get any oil off that, because when you push the piece in, probably got a bit of oil from your skin on there. And basically it's the key, number 4. The other way, of course, I could do this is to take the piece off, which is easier, considering I've just cleaned it. Might be easier actually to take it off, however, let's risk it. Bit jeopardy. Okay, alright. Now with these stickers, you want to sort of make sure they're square. Use the vinyl wrap technique of from the top left to right, push all the air bubbles down, and job done. Back here we've got one that can go on this bit, change your angle a bit, and I'm going to have to look at the manual again actually to see which one it is. I think I'd assume it's the lower one, because that's the one where the engine is closer to the engine and you'd want that hot air to escape from there. Just check the manual. But yeah, Lego stickers are pretty good. Over the years I have had many crack, sadly, and there's not really much you can do about it. You can buy second sticker sheets and stuff in case or in preparation that your ones will eventually go, but the more recent stickers actually are a bit more malleable. And yes, this is a bottom side one. Now, because that'll be the right length, I'm not going to use that technique I mentioned earlier to check in the length. Yeah, so if we just apply that. And the irony, of course, I'm introducing some grease to to the sticker, but I have just washed my hands, so nice and taut. Make sure that gap along the line is parallel. Hey! And again, out from the middle to the edge. Get rid of all the air bubbles. Nice. Now, controversial. This windscreen should have some stickers along the side. I'm gonna leave them off. I quite like the naivety of some Lego not being exactly perfect to scale. So we're gonna mount this in here. And basically, I'll just have a bit of extra glass rather than use these little stickery pieces. Actually, the last hubcap to go on, still aligning my Legos, there you go. I'm not completely mad because I don't do this for the tyres. I did just think that, why have I never done this for the tyres? Let's pop the wheels on. Now for those that are interested, these are around a corner of your living room or something. It's a bit tricky. So if, which I don't, sadly, I had a flat 2x1 flat in this colour, which I'm definitely not going to have, I would cover that. Now I will spare you me building the other aspects, the little painting and the thingy bobby. Boot trunk, I guess it is a boot trunk as well, but it is great, really, really, really nice, so clever, and this was brilliant. So in essence, ta-da! How cute is that? I wonder if it would do, there you go, there you go. That's what it should do in real life, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, so the way this is actually made, it's like you've got a hem, because the inside, which you don't see, is the bit that holds the fabric. And so when you shut the roof, that hem disappears, you know, and you end up with a beautifully smooth little roof. Clamped down with a flagpole, brilliant. Stickers are on the dash, of course, spare tyre. You've got your fuel tank in there, real nice. That is great. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and as you can probably tell, it's not actually a huge build. It didn't take us very long really to do that, and certainly faster than the Mustang. Probably the same as the Mini, only based on the fact that they're both small cars. But that is brilliant. Look, shape, feel, colour, everything about that is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, big fan. Very, very cool. Certainly more preferable over the Beetle for me. I think that is such a good little build. Very, very cute. Loved it. Not very long build at all. I don't know how long the actual footage is, but I don't know. It feels like less than 2 hours, even with my weird, finicky way of building it. But it is great. So I have built the suitcase, put the paint and the paintbrush in there. It is very cute. And of course, the little easel and painting, which is very, very cute. Thanks for watching. The inner workings of a madman in COVID, lining up the word Lego on a model. So yeah, that was quite fun. See you later.